Hello, and in this video we'll be talking about the OSI model. The first is the application layer. The application layer sits at layer 7, the top of the Open Systems Interconnection or OSI communications model. It ensures an application can effectively communicate with other applications on different computer systems and networks. The application layer is not an application. What is the main function of the application layer? The application is the one that users interact with and use. This layer allows users to send data, access data, and the user networks. Other related layers also facilitate communication like the application layer. A few examples of application layer protocols are the Hypertext Transfer Protocol or HTTP, File Transfer Protocol FTP, Post Office Protocol POP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol SMTP, and Domain Name System DNS. Next is the protocols. DNS matches domain names with IP addresses. HTTP used to transfer data between clients, servers using a web browser. SMTP and POP3 used to send email messages from clients to servers over the internet. FTP allows the download upload of files between a client or server. Telnet allows users to log into a host from a remote location and take control as if they were sitting at the machine or the virtual connection. DHCP assigns IP addresses, subnet masks, default gateways, DNS servers, etc. to users as they log in the network. Application layer software has two types: applications and services. Applications provide the human user interface, relies on lower layers to complete the communication process. Services establish an interface to the network where protocols provide the rules and the formats that govern how data is treated. How data requests occur and are filled. Client or server model advantages: centralized administration, security is easier to enforce. Application layer services and protocols, peer-to-peer networking, and applications. Client server model. Client device requesting information initiates the data exchange. Can also upload data to the servers. The other is server. An example of this is email client on an employee computer issues a request to the email server. For any unread email, the server responds by sending the email to the client. Conversations can originate with either party. The next thing I will be talking about is the transport layer. In computer networking, the transport layer is a conceptual division of methods in the layered architecture of protocols in the network stack in the Internet Protocol Suite and the OSI model. The protocols of this layer provide end-to-end communication services for application. The best known example of the transport layer is the Transmission Control Protocol or TCP, which is built on top of the Internet Protocol, commonly known as TCP/IP. TCP and UDP port numbers work at layer 4 while IP addresses work at layer 3, the network layer. Transport layer roles and services shares the transport link between applications, ensure data reliability, handles errors and data losses. Major functions of the transport layer in data networks: tracking individual conversations, segmenting data, reassembling segments, identifying the applications. Control conversation, establishing a session, reliably delivery, same order delivery, flow control. Transport layer TCP reliable, UDP unreliable. Supports acknowledged communication via TCP, supports unacknowledged communications via UDP. Trans- Basic characteristics of the TCP and UDP protocols. Transport layer port numbers. Port numbers identify upper layers applications to the transport layer. TCP segments contain sequence numbers or the order of data reassembly. UDP segments are not concerned with other data reassembly. TCP reliability mechanism works as part of a session. The TCP three-way handshake. To establish a TCP communication channel, a three-way handshake is implemented. Examples of this is host A sends TCP SYN synchronized packet to host B. Host B receives A's SYN. Host B sends A's synchronized acknowledgement. Host A receives B's synchronized acknowledgement. Host A sends acknowledge. Host B receives acknowledge. TCP connection is established. To terminate a TCP connection channel, a three-way handshake is implemented. TCP is terminated when both sides have sent a FIN segment and received an ACK segment. TCP sequence numbers are used to reconstruct the data stream with segments placed in the order correctly. Lastly, I will be talking about the network layer. In the 7-layer OSI model of computer networking, the network layer is layer 3. The network layer is responsible for packet forwarding, including routing through intermediate routers. An examples of network layer protocols include Internet Protocol, Internet Control Message Protocol, ICMP or PING, Internet Gateway Management Protocol, IGMP. Next is the network layer or OSI layer 3 provides services to exchange the individual pieces of data over the network between identified end devices. To accomplish this end-to-end transport, layer 3 uses 4 basic processes: addressing, encapsulation, routing, decapsulation. Addressing. First, the network layer must provide a mechanism for addressing these end devices. If individual pieces of data are to be directed to an end device must have a unique address. Next is encapsulation. The network layer must provide encapsulation. Not only must the device be identified with an address, the individual pieces, the network layer PDUS, must also contain these addresses. During the encapsulation process, the layer 3 receives the layer 4 PDU and adds a layer 3 header or label to create the layer 3 PDU. Next is routing. The network layer must provide services to direct these packets to their destination host. The source and destination host are not always connected to the same network. In fact, the packet might have to travel through many different networks. Along the way, each packet must be guided through the network to reach its final destination. Intermediary devices that connect the networks are called routers. Next is decapsulation. The packet arrives at the destination host and is processed at layer 3. The host examines the destination address to verify that the packet was addressed to this device. If this address is correct, the packet is decapsulated by the network layer and the layer 4 PDU contained in the packet is passed up to the appropriate service at transport layer. An example of network layer protocol role of IPv4. The network layer services implemented by the TCP IP protocol suite are the Internet Protocol. Version 4 of IP is currently the most widely used version of IP. It's the only layer 3 protocol that is used to carry user data over the internet and it's the focus of the CCNA. That's all. Thank you for watching.